So I've decided that I want to build myself a one-wheel trailer to pull behind my 2020 Ultra Limited. And this is the mock-up that I'm coming up with. The frame I found from an old sprayer. I took the drum off of it and kind of chopped it down so I have just the frame. It's a very thick metal frame, and I think it'll serve my purposes very well. It's 12 inches wide from rail to rail, and you got a little platform. It used to hold the motor and the pump that will now hold a cooler for me later on. I searched and searched until I could find a fiberglass tour pack, and the blue tape on there represents what I'm going to do to customize this tour pack. It wasn't quite big enough for my purposes, so I'm going to cut it where the blue tape is, and I'm going to extend it, grow it if you will, about 6.5 to 7 inches until the front of this meets up with my platform to hold a cooler. And then on front of that I will put the neck to attach it to the bike. Now recently I got in a little bit of a fender bender, and I have an old Zephyr Blue, or the Zephyr Blue fender, front fender, and I got an 8-spoke or 9-spoke wheel from a guy who does some custom work. Put a new tire on it, and I want to mount the fender on the back of this rail in order to make it look right. And eventually this will be painted or gel coated depending on what I can come up with to match the fender, because that's what I want it to look like, to match my bike. So this is the first stage. This is my mock-up, and I've finally gotten a lot of the pieces together in order to see how this is going to work. Now, I am not a metal guy. I am a carpenter guy, as you can see from the chop saw. I got another chop saw over here, and this is my big table saw area, which is now I'm using for laminating and doing some custom work. I've already laid out a sheet of fiberglass that I'll be cutting to place in and replace where I cut out on the tour pack. And I've also taken some fiberglass, wrapped it over a PVC tube, and created these curves. What will happen with these, I'll use those for the corners so I don't have sharp corners, and I will use that in order to give me a rounded corner effect. I've also got some larger PVC here with fiberglass wrapped over that, and that will be used for a tunnel if I need it for the shock that will be mounted on here. But that will come later on. Now, I've also got some lighting I'm going to try and use. When I bought my 2020 Zephyr Blue, it had these red lights on it, and I changed them out and put smoked lenses on everything. So I have the side marker lights that I'm going to try and put on there, and I've also got the rear lights that come off of my other tour pack. Now these lights do not exactly fit on this classic tour pack that I have, so there's going to have to be some adjustment if I can make it work. But this is the first step. I've been thinking about this for quite a while, and I've seen videos and looked at all the forums about how to handle and maneuver one of these things, and I like these a lot better, at least in concept, than the two-wheel. So this is my initial design, my initial setup, and we'll see how it goes from here.